All right, welcome guys. It is December 14th, Tuesday, December 14th. This is a meeting of the Architectural Review Board. It is 7:03 p.m. We have a busy agenda tonight, so I'm going to be pretty on point about keeping you guys moving. To introduce ourselves, so you know, our board tonight, we've got David Riley, Alex Lopatensky, Vice Chair David Humphrey, myself, Elizabeth Geiger, Chairman, Marion Castell, and Sean Brown. And we have two administrators sitting with us. We have Dave Keating and Jeremy Ginsberg. So, first up, we have ARB number 33, 2021. This is Quattro Pazzi at 171 Post Road. I believe you are Adam Kaufman?
Yes.
Awesome. So, for the record, welcome.
Thank you.
State your name, state what your relationship, what your company is, your relationship to it is, and then give us a very brief overview. We've gotten the packets, we read them ahead of time, so but we'll ask questions after you give us a
Sure.
encompassing overview.
My name is Adam Kaufman, owner and sole proprietor of AJK Designs out of New Fairfield, Connecticut. I am here on behalf of Gino here to get some new signage put up.
Can I get Gino's name for the record?
Gino
Riccio.
Spell it.
R-I-C-C-I-O.
Okay.
I'm going to start with the road sign, this one here. This one's going to be real easy. It's just a piece of Lexian, a new piece of Lexian that is going to get a vinyl overlay and then put into the frame. The Lexian is 3/16 thick by 33.75 inches by 70 inches. And it's going to get a 3M translucent vinyl overlay on top of it and then installed into the sign face, into the sign frame. Let's talk about the building sign in the middle here. Those are going to be 10-inch tall aluminum letters that are 2-inch thick that are stud mounted directly to the wall, which is flush mounted. It's not going to have any standoffs or any sort of length besides the 2-inch depth of the letter. It is painted PMS number 186, which is just a standard red color. Then the awnings over here. The awnings are going to get recovered. There is a frame up there currently. They are going to be recovered with this nice new Sunbrella fabric. The name of the fabric is actually on my build letter. Hold on one second. They're going to use a special 3-color fabric that is just going to recover the existing frame and then put back up.
Sorry, what were the colors?
The actual Quattro Pazzi lettering is 186. Hold on one second. I'm sorry, I'm missing the actual Sunbrella fabric number for the awnings. I believe it's on the application, though. I apologize. I should have wrote that down. But there is a specific Sunbrella fabric on the application itself, and there is a picture of the Sunbrella fabric in there as well.
Any lighting?
There is no lighting. The only lighting is in the road sign. But for the buildings, the awning or the building letter, there is no lighting. The road sign is internally lit. It is lit with LEDs. The LEDs are working. So it's just going to be a simple face swap. We'll take the old one out and put the old one in.
But the sign is lit. It looks like there's some sconces above it. Is that correct?
Oh, yes. There are a couple of, yes.
Or down?
Goosenecks, sconces.
Lighting
Yep.
sconces? Are they lighting sconces?
Yes, the sconces are lit now, yes.
I have a quick question about colors.
Yes.
What is the actual color of it's not blue building? It's white.
No, the building is white.
Yeah, okay.
building is white.
It wasn't clear.
It's just how it printed. I apologize.
The same goes with the sign. The poles look green.
No, ma'am, they're actually black.
Yeah, well, I was hoping they'd be black, so it didn't, but it looks, and I just wanted to verify the printing color.
Yes, ma'am, it's all black. So there's the black
Okay.
frame around it, then the post itself, the steel post itself is black as well.
And these all fit the dimensions, Dave, in terms of the...
Actually, yes.
I have a problem with your pole sign. You're actually in a lucky spot, you guys, to where that pole sign's been there a while. If you were coming to us a new applicant, squash!
Yeah, right. Is it over
Not
square
in.
footage?
So, that being, it doesn't really fit the seaside, the beach town. We want kind of the quaint,
Okay.
classic. I understand why you want to use it. That said, what you put on it is much larger than something that we allow in the first place, so we need to discuss other options for that. How large, do you have dimensions for your actual letters and what your logo is?
They shouldn't be bigger than 10 inches. I know that was the rule, that you couldn't have bigger than 10 inches, so we try to abide by it and make it about 10 inches tall.
Well, you got a 33-inch sign in height, and that logo looks like it takes up the whole thing almost.
Well, if you broke it down into quadrants and break it down into thirds, you know, you could see where it's actually under 10 inches at that point of a letter height. It's probably about
That's the
9.
letter.
The logo.
Oh, the logo itself. Oh, I'm sorry, I apologize.
Yeah, I don't like the logo on there.
It's been an established logo for quite some time. You know, that Quattro Pazzi there in Fairfield has been open for many, many years.
Is your
So we're
official
using it
name-
as almost like branding, you know?
Is your official name Quattro Pazzi Ristorante Italiano?
It's Quattro Pazzi Cafe, but we couldn't fit cafe in there, so we made it, come on.
Please. Can you introduce yourself for the records?
Yes, my name is Gino Riccio, I'm the owner of Quattro Pazzi. So we started off being an organic cafe, so we couldn't find people to fill in those kitchens to work in there, so our other concept is Quattro Pazzi, so we figured we switched that over. Everything was approved with the Organica, with the name and the same size, the same everything else that we put here. Yes, on this one we have the logo. I don't think, maybe it is a little larger than what it looks like, but it's our logo that's been with us for 25 years. So, sorry.
So it's almost, we go back to branding at that point, is, you know,
Yeah.
it's an established logo for 25 years, people know it. So that's why we want to present it, because again, McDonald's isn't gonna change the M anytime soon. You know, it's the same principle.
Is
Yeah.
there a way you can
Reduce
scale
it.
it so that it's not so large but still allows you to get the name across?
Sure.
Is there a different way to arrange, is there any brand standards that say that the logo has to be here with the name over here? Is there a way to scale it down?
Again, what I tried to do was with the actual lettering, to keep it under 10 inches. So that's why I kind of filled that negative space with the logo itself, instead of trying to increase the size of the lettering. You know, I just wanted it to be filled a little bit, you know, not have such negative space in it if you take that logo down.
So why can't you just reduce the size of the logo a bit? Is there a relationship
We
between
can
the size of the logo
reduce
and
it.
the...
We
Sure,
can-
yeah,
We can
I mean-
reduce the logo, it's not a problem.
Yeah, they just, like Alex said, scaling it down a little bit.
Yeah.
And the other thing with the Ristorante Italiano, you know, we technically don't allow anything other than specific building names, so or specific business names, so I get that it changed from cafe to that, but I think that would be probably something that you put on the window as opposed to the pole sign.
Okay.
That's not something that we have.
So, reducing the logo, would the name be bigger? Is that what you, is
Yeah,
that
I
okay
mean,
with
just,
you?
yeah, and so maybe it's a different arrangement, maybe you know, the name is
So-
horizontal and the
On
logo
like
is
one line.
smaller. If it's part of the brand
Mhm.
identity, and it
Because
goes
it's
with the
kind of
name.
a weird sign to put things together to look good, you know? Because it's been there for, I don't know how many
We
years.
spend many hours.
So
going back and forth.
we try to, you know, we hire somebody to make sure that everything fits in a way, because we also want to present it to the customer that somebody reads it, it looks good, and also it's not so weird looking, you know, it's like one line, it's not gonna look good. So that's why we did it in two Quattro Pazzi, two lines.
But if you scale the logo, if you make the logo
No,
smaller.
I agree. If you wanted me to put that a smaller,
I mean, it's just very
That would
big.
help.
okay.
The logo should be no taller than 15 inches. That's just a standard anyways.
Okay.
So if you guys, when you put together a new mock-up, could send that
Yeah.
with scales, that'd be helpful.
Sure.
And then, to what Mr. Keating just said about the removal of Ristorante Italiano. I know why you guys would want that, but we suggest to people when they want a description to put it on their door or like on a window, like in like a cling. Like since you were organic, you did a great job with Organica. I'm sorry to see that didn't get off. I'm really bad
Yeah, I'm so
timing.
sorry.
But you guys, I mean, you did really classy stuff there. It was
Yeah.
nice. So maybe something, you know, similar font on the window, more, I don't know, like gray, black,
Well-
gold, whatever.
That's fine, we can remove that, Restaurant Italiano if you like,
Yeah.
it's not a big deal.
But you don't use your logo and it's just,
We don't have the logo name, no.
so.
It could be when you reduce the size of the logo, there might be an opportunity to put cafe in there again.
We
If
try
that's
to
part
do
of
it,
your
it
name.
kinda looks weird,
Still
that's
looks,
why,
okay.
yeah.
I just,
So-
if it's part of your name, it's, if there's a way you can get it in there, I don't think there'd be any exception to the word.
I'd rather not even put it on, and just keep it Quattro Pazzi and scale
Okay.
down the logo, that'd be
Okay.
great,
Yeah, sounds cool.
you know?
So just scale the logo down to 15 inches
15
tall,
inches.
and then remove Restaurante Italiano, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Good, we got that on.
Are the lights on all night or do they cut off
No,
at a
no,
certain time?
they have a timer on it, and
Yeah.
then it shuts off at a certain time. Between 11:30 it shut off.
Okay.
Anything else, guys? The wall sign, Sean? Maybe?
No, I would just make sure that the 171 stays mounted on the building.
Oh, it's on there.
Yeah, I know, I just, clarify that it needs to stay.
No, we just installed it because there was never a sign there that said 171.
Adam, what's the font of the letters in the building? I think you wrote that in our thing. I didn't write it down here.
The name of the font?
The name
So
of the font.
Righteous.
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 Right.
All right, anything else, guys? All right, so you're looking favorable, but it's not like a pass-through right now. We need to see a new PDF. I'm not gonna have you guys come back. I mean, you guys are close, so we really appreciate your time.
Yeah.
Just a revised PDF of that, of the pole sign. And while you're at it, just include everything in there one time, so it's in one clean file. You can send it to Dave Keating or Tamara, who you're working with before.
Sure.
Just submit your application. They'll make sure we get it in a timely manner. Within a couple days, we'll get a board,
Okay.
favorable board, and that's it.
I'll get it sent to you tomorrow. No
Yep,
problem.
awesome.
Thank you
Good.
so much.
So I will get you a letter. When I get that, I'll get you an official letter from me that says you guys are favorable.
Okay
for
with
it.
that. So you're okay with the sign on the wall and?
Sign on the wall's
Yep.
good, the umbrella fabric was
The
good.
sunbed, okay.
And good luck this time.
Thank
We'll
you.
come by and
It's very
dine.
hard to find people, that's.
I know, I know.
Thanks
The
so
ARB will
much.
be there dining, don't worry.
Have a great night, thank you.
All
Take care,
right,
Jeremy.
guys.
Thank you.
Next up, ARB 36 at 2021 at Suite Central at 17 Old Kings Highway, or possibly 25. The more the
It's
merrier.
25.
It's at 25.
Yes, it's 25.
Okay.
How you doing?
Um,
You can see.
It's at 25, but yeah, I saw five. So you guys saw the drill there. For the record, we're on television, so
Okay.
introduce yourselves, what your role, your name, your company.
Sure,
And then
okay.
your brief overview, okay?
Sure. My name is Richard Pike. I'm the owner of Sweat Central. It's a hot yoga studio. We've had a location in Scarsdale for 9 years, and we're moving, this is our first location in Connecticut.
Hi, I'm Kevin Kane, owner of Hungwell Signs. I'm going to help make the sign.
Great.
I'm sorry, your name again, Richard?
Mine is Richard Pike, P-I-K-E.
Good, sorry, Kevin makes us laugh. We see
I-
it too much.
Yeah, it's good. And so this is a location in the Good Wife Shopping Center. And so both signs will be consistent with all the other signs that are in our row of stores that are located along there.
When you say consistent, detail that out.
Sure.
Material, size, color, talk to me about that.
Sure, there's two signs. There's the wooden one that hangs, what would you call this one?
Blade sign.
Hi, it's Kevin. The blade sign will be a PVC, like all the other signs. Same size, same shape as all the other signs in the area, all the next door neighbors. I believe it's 1 foot by 2 foot. And all we're proposing to do is to, for the large sign, is to 3/8 acrylic on the existing sign that's up there, the back panel that's up there already.
What's an overlay?
Those are 10-inch high letters.
I have a quick question on the blade sign. Is First Step Biddle requiring you to be matched to the other colors on the blade sign?
I'm sorry.
I thought, aren't the other blade signs all forest green?
No, they're white, yeah.
They're all white now?
They're white, yeah.
So this Court Mandel's got like a green sign next to it. For some reason, it gives me that same
Yeah.
idea, that
I
green
can walk
presence.
by there and I keep thinking they're all green, because
Yeah, I
that's what
know.
they
It's a,
originally were.
oh,
I remember I did lumber there, it's white, it's right next door.
That was white with, like,
Yeah.
orange and yellow.
then UPS has it, you know. like the-
Yeah, they are different colors. The karate
The
place
karate
is
place.
black, UPS store is green, right, these are the blades.
Yeah, exactly.
see, the boards there, you guys just stripped off limber, is that what you do, or is it?
Oh, no, this is
board?
different, no, lumber is just the next to us.
Yeah, but is this, the board you're using, is it one that's always
Yeah,
there?
it's
You
over-
s-
yeah,
You
yep.
strip off the old tenants,
Yep, lumber,
Okay.
it was in really bad shape, I replaced it with the new face, but this is, the one that's there now is in really good
the
shape.
face is, oh, got it.
So we're just
okay.
gonna take the new letters and put them on the surface.
Okay,
Yeah, it's this one.
This one, yeah. The blade sign is gonna be new.
Absolutely.
I think, yeah, the blade, so just to clarify, the blade sign is new.
Good.
It's the sign, what do you call this one, the overhead?
Yeah,
The overhead,
the entrance sign.
yeah, will,
So all you're doing is putting the letters on the existing panel
Right.
that's there, that's
It's
in
already
good
there,
condition.
yeah, exactly.
And the lighting, there's no lighting particular?
No,
no.
And do you want to put something on the doors to indicate what you are? I'm confused about what you are.
Okay, we're a yoga studio,
Okay,
and,
and one that, it looks like you're sweating a lot.
right, if, we heat the
We
room
have
up,
pictures
yes,
of
you
it,
sweat.
so I,
Right. So, yes, we will put some signage on the doors, on the door.
it could be anything else that makes you sweat, I'm just wondering, okay.
Yeah.
not to say that we overly encourage signage on the door, right? And first of all, by the way, it's
No.
25% coverage of your window.
No, I'm,
Kevin will guide you on that,
I
but
don't-
25%.
we don't encourage it at all, I just thought it might add some clarification here, I don't know. Just one word, yoga would do it.
We could, I would like to put hot yoga on the overhead sign,
Oh,
but
no.
that's technically not part of our name, and so I didn't think we could, so.
But
No,
you could
we're
do
talking
it
If
on-
you guys, if you want, I'd be happy to do it.
Well, this is not a permanent sign, it's a peel-off that we're talking about for the door.
A cling, aesthetic cling.
That's
Yeah, we can-
Sorry,
Yeah.
explain.
I just meant on the big overhead sign, I'd be happy to put hot yoga if
No,
you
No.
would.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Good try. If you don't ask, you won't
Just,
receive.
I'm just here to help.
nice guy.
Alex, are you gonna say something? Maybe about the idea for the door or something?
Yeah, so if you wanted to kind of describe what it is,
Mhm.
you could do that on the door with some applied lettering.
Okay. Is that something, do we come back here for approval for that, or can we put lettering on as long
We
as it
would
complies
appreciate if you'd
with-
send us a PDF of that. You don't need to add to it, but send a PDF,
Okay.
like application, Kevin can send that.
Definitely.
I'll send it over, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
It'll definitely be within the size,
Yeah.
for sure, yeah.
Fantastic. And
So,
Sean, we know you to say
Kevin,
it.
on the blade sign,
Yep.
I didn't go by and walk it this week, but are the blade signs in form all the same cut?
Yes,
So they're uniform all the way around underneath the canopy?
they're all the same shape.
So this one, the new one's gonna be exactly the same
Absolutely,
shape? Okay.
just like the,
I can't believe that Goodwise would allow you to paint purple on this entrance.
What do you mean?
Well, this looks like it's been painted, it's sidewalk.
Just the color of that, no,
I
it's
know,
just the,
I know, I'm just making it clear that that's not, it's a regular sidewalk.
yeah.
Yes, that's the
Right
regular
now.
side, yeah.
there's
We're
actually.
looking at something
yeah.
that looks
I know.
lavender.
There's actually a tree there, and I did a Photoshop to get rid of the tree. So I did, that's me trying to,
Okay.
yeah, there's a tree there, so we.
All right. All right, guys.
Okay?
Favorable report, I'll get you guys a letter. You
Okay,
can go ahead
great.
with it, but you have a favorable report, so you can continue order your signs, what you need to do with
Okay.
Kevin, but I'll get you the actual documentation
Terrific.
eventually here.
Okay, terrific, okay.
Thank you so much. Good
Thank you,
luck.
everybody. Thank you.
All right.
Thanks, see you
Looking forward
there.
to sweating.
Yes.
And they're gonna send over the PDF for the.
Oh, yeah, Kevin, we sent a PDF of the
Yeah,
door
For
thing.
the door, yes.
And Rich, with the address on there.
The address is 25.
Put the address will be on the
Yeah,
door.
put the address
Yeah,
for on the
okay,
door.
got it, you
All right.
got it.
Well, the whole complex, no, the whole complex is 25.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, the whole
Oh,
complex
it
is
is?
25.
Oh, okay. Never mind, sorry, Rich.
And I don't remember if they, I don't remember if they had 7 there, but it's all 25.
No, it's,
It does, everything over there is 25.
Yes, right.
Okay, sorry, I messed up, so no addresses on the door.
We don't need that, right?
No, sorry, thanks,
No,
sorry.
it's on the sign up.
All right, guys, ARB number 34, Bird Code, 2021, this is Bird Code at 151 Boston Post Road. We also have ARB number 37, 151 Boston Road, same applicant. I'm gonna couple both these applications together, so we're gonna do number 34 and 37 at the same time, is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely. Great. Thank you so much, Madam Chair.
So if it's just, is it just you or you have a team?
Yeah, we've got a team here. I'm Jay Klein.
Everyone's a team, I'd love everyone up chairs so we can see you all up front. We can you guys can all, one by one, step up and introduce yourself to start us all off.
Just to join in here at the table?
You guys can sit at the table, that'd be great. You guys wanna sit at the table, you can come, front row seats.
Whatever your preference.
For those who aren't talking and, if someone's, Jay?
Yeah.
You can go behind the podium and the rest of your team can sit up front in the meantime, do you wanna do that?
Okay. Well, yeah, I'm Jay Klein. This is our architect. Jay Moore.
You may need to speak into the microphone for
Oh, yeah.
the record. My name is Jackie Kaufman, I'm an attorney I'm here with Jay.
Right. Jackie, remember you from BMW.
From here last,
Right, good to see you again, Jackie.
nice to see you in person finally. Yeah.
It is, it's very pleasant.
Happy holidays.
All right, so we got Jackie Kaufman from Comedy Law. Jackie, from Comedy Law.
Yes.
Okay.
Jennifer Morgenthau from Jennifer Morgenthau Architects LLC out of Newington.
Okay,
Richard Fontaine of Richard Civil Engineering.
gotcha, okay.
And Phil and Brady Kalorn of Bird Code in West Hartford.
The owners themselves.
Yes, it is.
Look at this team you've assembled.
This is not a chain, they are the owners, the operators, and
Wow.
we'll be very, very involved, so.
The hands-on people.
It's a 25-year dream of ours.
Awesome, this is, how wonderful. We'll move quickly, because Jackie might be on record. We can't have those lawyer fees, so we'll go fast for you. I'm just kidding.
See, quick Jay will do better than I did last year.
You're too long.
All right, and the gentleman presenting.
Sure.
can you
Hey,
yourself?
I'll be brief again, Jay Klein from Carmody Law. We brought everything but chicken sandwiches for you all, so I apologize. That'll be for next time. We're here to talk about 151 Boston Post Road East and a potential new tenant that we are really excited to deliver to the town. The building's been vacant for, I think it's been about 18 months now, year and a half, maybe 2 years. And Brandy and Phil really want to change all that. They've owners, operators, cooks, they'll do everything, clean the dishes, take out the trash if they have to at the restaurant, Bird Code restaurant up in West Hartford. And that's their single location. They want to open a second location down here in Darien. And in talking to Brandy and Phil, what sets them apart from maybe some other casual dining that you see around, focus on locally sourced ingredients, focus on fresh, never frozen type situation. If they can incorporate Connecticut grown or Connecticut ingredients and materials, that's what they aim to do. And something too that in talking to Brandy, mac and cheese, banana pudding, some of these recipes that are on their menu are Brandy's mom, grandma. It's literally a family operation with Connecticut roots and just a strong foundation. So they're excited to bring it here. If I keep on talking, I'll just get hungry. So I think it makes sense to probably ask Jennifer to speak to the architectural components that I'm sure you all are most interested in. So.
Oh, Jay, if you don't mind just telling us a little bit about the building the former building that was here. This is a former bank. It's been vacant for many years. It's owned by Mr. Nielsen, who's done a nice job at maintaining it, and I think just to give you a little background. But it is a bank that has had 3 drive-through lanes, just to give you, it hasn't been open for a few years, so I think that between that and COVID, people may forget what was there. So this is building on the structural bones of the existing building.
Right. So you probably should all have some visuals that look like this right here, but then there's also a couple of others that show the existing buildings and
actually,
some
they
notes.
don't have that yet. I made some copies.
Okay.
I made 4 copies, so if you'd like to take
I'd
one
like
and
to see the
pass them on and share, that would be good.
Is that in the digital packet?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I saw it online.
Yes.
Right.
So this is the existing in here? It says proposed.
Take
There-
one copy and pass on the
the other three, and then people can share
So
them.
the lower
Yep.
picture that you see is the existing
Oh, there it
building.
is, there it is, okay.
And then the one up top
Okay,
here
good.
is the proposed design.
Okay, thank you.
We've got those labeled as well.
Because it,
Yes, Jenny, do you want to go up to the microphone for us?
Yeah, you guys can see this.
Which
Yep.
bank? Which
We
bank?
can flip for you.
I will
Where
walk
is
you
the car
through.
wash across from Minnetonka?
what's the back?
Yeah, no, I can't remember which
CD.
bank it was.
There was acres being.
Those
That's it, that's it.
Yes, the auto uses on one side, the restaurant on the other.
Now, do you guys have all three sheets in that packet?
We do.
Just so I can reference things. So on the first page that you see, which is right here, on the bottom is the existing building as it stands now. The proposed design is the upper picture. The differences between the two are sort of described on those other two visuals that you see there, but I can walk you through pretty quickly what we're doing. For the most part, we are not changing the outside of the building in terms of architecture really at all. It's more surface, sort of changing. I mean, you will see awnings will come out to shelter the entrances. There's going to be a small patio area with an awning to the side. There's a drive-through in the back and on the side that will also have awnings. So as far as what the building looks like, that's really the only architectural element that's being added to it.
What's the material of those awnings?
All metal. Everything will be black metal. Black metal. The black metal roof is going to remain exactly the same. The lower portions that you see there in that top picture, we're keeping some of the original brick columns. Everything above the awnings is going to be clad in the black metal, black corrugated metal as well. Where the bird code signs are, or signs, just one sign on one side, and then on the other facade, there's going to be repurposed wood to give a little bit of a contrast, so the sign stands out, and also just sort of to focus on the entrance. The doors are going to be a slightly different color from the black. We're changing that to red to kind of go with the color scheme for bird code. We're going to have a walk-up window on the far left side of that top picture. An entrance on both sides. Right now, there's only an entrance to the street-facing facade, so we're having two entrances now. And we're keeping the original door, secondary door, man door, in between the main entrance and the pickup window. So virtually everything is staying the same. We're really just changing some materials and colors, essentially.
Is the red a red metal or is it painted?
I don't know if we've decided that.
The red on the door?
Yeah.
It's a powder coated door.
So
Powder coated
you're
door.
gonna replace the existing doors?
No, we're gonna replace the entire window system.
Yeah.
All the storefronts gonna be
Exactly, we're gonna keep it exactly as is now, just put the new windows in so we don't have the, lose heat, it's all about efficiency.
Got it.
So you're keeping the frames for replacing the glass?
Yes,
Or-
yes,
okay.
keep the frame, replace grass.
Okay.
You can even see as you count out the panes and the space in between the panes that they're identical, one for
Right.
one replacement.
The other thing that I forgot to mention, the little covered patio that you see there, those windows on the side will actually turn into sliding glass doors.
Oh, good.
There'll be like 4 of them, and then the 2 center ones will open. So you'll be able to come in and out, have that dining experience inside and outside.
Tables.
We're also going to have a street sign that you see there with the bird code logo, and then the actual word bird code will be on the building, exactly as you see it. And we also have specifications for those signs as well, and I think they're part of that package.
Yeah, those were, we did all hard copies of those.
Yeah. Pretty much everything from an architectural standpoint is staying the same, trying to keep with the same architecture along that street, and really just sort of adding a little bit of a touch that would identify, the branding of bird code.
Before we get into the signage, go ahead, Marion.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask about lighting.
Yeah, I like lighting.
The,
landscape design and traffic pattern there. It's pretty busy during this area. I know we'll get to you,
yeah,
yeah. So those
we'll
are-
get to Rich. As far as the signage go, I can answer to that. And it's in the lighting package. We're gonna be taking away the gooseneck lights that are there right now that illuminated the bank sign. And we're going to be putting up a bird code signage with LED lighting that is glowing and backlit at night. And I think that,
Glowing.
Essentially halo.
yeah, halo, there you go. That's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah, I think that was in the application. So I have a question. The existing storefront frames that you said you're keeping, in the pictures it looks green. Is that just?
No, it's
It's
exactly
all
as
black.
is.
It's not
No
black.
change, black.
Everything's black.
Okay. And the doors are black too?
Existing black, and then the two doors become red powder coat paint.
So you're going to replace the black doors with the red powder coat?
Yes.
Correct.
To give a more clear indication of where the entrance is.
So it looks, like in the rendering, it looks like all the doors are red powder coat?
Are they only right there on the right hand side?
So there's that single door you.
Yes.
Correct. Assuming that's egress?
Yeah.
This note, it says existing doors and windows to remain. Is that just a mistake then?
Well, technically, yes, because we're gonna be replacing, but the look of it itself will not change at all.
Would you just point to those doors on the corner, where the red doors on the right-hand side of the building are being inserted? You can see down below that those are the only two windows that are being replaced with doors. The other egress door by code exists.
So the street view is basically what you'll be seeing. This will be the street view as you're driving by.
And then there's the added canopy for outdoor dining.
Correct.
The existing drive-through component?
That'll, Rich will get into all of that.
That canopy though, that's gonna have lighting as well, like downlighting, surface mounted lighting.
String lighting, actually.
String lighting?
String lighting in that area. The awnings that you see over the entrances and over the pickup window, over the drive-through, they will have the recessed lighting.
What do you plan to have on the underside of those canopies? Do you know what material you would use there?
It's all metal.
Just wondering
All black?
whether there's an opportunity to integrate potentially some of the wood that you're using, especially with the
Do we have
square
a
footage of
picture?
canopy that you have over the seating area. It would be awesome.
I currently have wood on my location in West Hartford.
And
We can get some
yeah.
pictures of those for you and put that together, and that's not a problem to change it to that too.
Yeah.
It'll be a little more softness.
Yeah, a little more softer look, it's not a problem.
Yeah, we actually kind of like that.
And there's
Yeah.
also, I mean, my comment is there's a lot of black. And I
Right.
know that you've
Yeah.
got the signage
Yes.
with the reclaimed
Right.
wood as a relief.
Mhm.
I think if you more,
You would like it up a little?
relief, it's just, it's intense.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's one thing if it was like a slate gray or a dark gray, but it's black. And that is
Yeah.
No more wood involved.
Sure, sure.
a lot.
Yeah.
Soft it, yeah.
Yeah.
I think the priority here is that it would just be the soffit, just the underside.
Yeah, so
would
the
be-
edge, the fascia, the edge of the canopy would still be black and the rods would be black, but the underside would be.
Yep, that's exactly our location, West Hartford, Bill, we can do that.
Absolutely.
It's not a problem.
Yeah, we can do that.
So
Oh, yeah, yeah,
We can
yeah,
vote.
you can, I mean, you can see it right there.
It looks better.
So the siding that you're showing, the
I
rendering,
don't have one on hand.
Oh, you
Sorry.
did
is
do
that
this.
actually just corrugated material?
That's
Oh,
correct.
Yes.
That green
Yes,
one.
that's-
Yeah, on the bottom of that awning right there is, yes, wood.
Yeah, and
But
Oh.
the corrugated siding material that you were just referencing, is that what you're trying to?
Yeah, it's the same material.
rendering?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that looks a little different, but yeah.
Yeah, this is more of a
And
more angular.
would the canopies be done the same way, where the fascia of the canopy is gonna have that corrugated?
The corrugated, yep, we can absolutely do it that way.
It's just a
Well,
question.
I
would
actually like
actually-
the smoother,
Yeah.
it's a relief to all the corrugations.
You can do
I
that.
think your
I would
proposed,
agree.
no, we prefer it to be flat.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because it gives a little bit of
This
texture
looks a
difference.
little industrial, and I don't think this in Darien that wants to be industrial, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I, in general, I like what you've done, I think with a couple revisions here and there, like the wood and the canopy, and then keeping that canopy facial smooth.
Sure.
Like you said, I think some changes in the texture, or the pattern can help break up, kind of a somewhat heavy, black facade. One question about the existing roof and that color, is that new enough and still dark enough that you think you can basically match it with the color of the corrugated siding that you?
We're pretty positive of it. I've had our team out that built West Hartford, and from what they've said, it should look exactly the same. Should look like it's new.
So you're concerned with the color match because of the
Yeah,
weathering
it's not-
short? Yeah.
Not a
we can
huge
make sure.
concern because it's at a different angle, but,
Mhm.
you wouldn't want like a washed out black roof to.
No, it's gotta look the
That's
same.
right. Because it's a new black, siding. The opacity of the glass, is it all clear, or you can have some panels that are,
We keep it as it currently is.
Yeah, everything will be clear.
Which is clear.
okay.
We're hoping to have, at least at night, a lot of, glowing sort of
Sure,
look
yeah.
coming from the inside of the restaurant.
Oh, good. So you just brought up my favorite topic. I love these open buildings. And of course, we're worried about the signage on the outside. But now with these wide open glass buildings, I'm now very concerned about nighttime appearance of overflow lighting, overflow signage that really wasn't approved. So my concern on this is going to be twofold. One is, what's the height of your inside booths in relation to the street frontage? And two, what's the timing of the lights and how you're going to use it? Because I'm not interested in 24-hour-a-day advertising when nobody's in the building.
No, there's no reason to. So our location's only open 11 to 9, Tuesday through Sunday currently in West Hartford. There will be zero change in that. That's what we're trying to stay with.
Yeah.
Right now, our lights there are shut down at 10 p.m. Our indoor lights in terms of we consider the customer area, which would be the area you would see from the road, and on the side where the Three Seasons patio is. Those lights are done at about 9:30. When we shut them down, with the exception of obviously some emergency lighting. You gotta have some security lighting and that stuff. But those are shut down. Booth-wise, when you say height of booth, you're talking about the height surrounding.
I'm looking at the height of your, it looks like based on where the individual's walking by with the food bag in his hand, it's to his knee. So I would say your knee wall is 2 foot
What
high.
can you see from the outside?
Right.
Yeah, what can you see from outside? Because then when you look at your booth on the inside, I'm looking obviously at a two-dimensional plane here. Are we looking at it, obviously with Corona and the pandemic, everything's changed, but how high is the booth wall? And what's the decoration on the side of the booth wall? Because once you illuminate the inside, now I'm gonna be looking at the side of a booth.
So there will be wood, it would be paneled wood. I do have that currently in West Hartford, that's something we can get you a picture of as well.
Yeah, we actually did reclaimed wood, and
Yeah.
my husband and I, we treated it ourselves, and so we did reclaimed pallet wood and tried to get from local barns, just to make it, and we currently have no neon
Just soften it
signage.
up.
There's no signage inside of the restaurant, so when you look into the restaurant currently from the street or the parking lot in West Hartford, all you see is wood with a metal top, and then there is no illuminated additional signage. We don't feel it's necessary, so we don't have any of that, and we don't have any plans to do that here either.
For some clarity on that location, it sits in the middle of a residential neighborhood.
Yes.
So we have quite a few restrictions on us, and obviously, we don't want to be impacting those neighbors.
We have homes
That's why
right up next
we
to
built
us,
it that way.
and we really wanted to make sure that we were kind of just blending into the current community.
I think to further Sean's concern, perhaps what you see from the street side at night, I mean, you've got your POS at the storefront window, right? You have a low curb, and you're gonna be able to see into the service area of the POS.
Okay.
How are you kind of masking that from the street side, so we're, because I design restaurants, so I know this. You've got lots of stuff going on back there that's going to be very visible when it gets dark outside.
Well, those windows we could tint. Currently, that's not what's specified in there. That's not a problem. We could tint those. We could white them out as well. There's multiple ways on that.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily like the whiting out option,
Yeah.
but tinting them, we could absolutely tint them to black on that area.
Because that's almost worse, Sean, than seeing the back of a booth.
Well, actually, you know, I'm trying to think when this came up, because you and I talked about this a while back, but it was one of the banks down there on the Norwalk side.
Yeah.
TD
They had
Bank.
big
Yes,
signs.
that's who it was, because
You can see.
well, you
from the
can
road.
drive by, I mean, Alex, this was before, but I mean, one of the big things I argued about was we can no longer be concerned about signage on the outside of the building, we have to be concerned about inside. When you go Florida Heights
Yeah, yeah.
glass,
No,
and they leave the lights on all night long,
Right,
this
with
thing
the sign.
glows like a
Yeah,
huge
I-
TD Bank sign.
I don't,
Yeah.
I understand the concept fully.
And so I'm looking at this saying, like, let's say his lights on until 10. Of course, they're gonna be 5.5 hours on now in this season. And if it's no signage and it's rustic wood on the inside of the booth, which is gonna be to your shoulder height when you're sitting, you'll see activity. As long as it's not a sign, because TD painted the whole back wall of the building. And literally the
I remember
whole floor space
Yeah, yeah,
across the thing
Yeah, yeah.
was empty bank, and on the back wall was this green TD Bank sign with, you know, LED lights in front of it. You could see it all from the road. It was huge.
That's not at all what we're looking to do, and you said you design restaurants to get just this. The reason we turned the point of sale that way is so it wouldn't be facing, you would have many boards, maybe that are showed towards the road.
Yeah, we didn't want that.
The only area that we plan on painting branding in the location would be next to where that point of sale is. So if you were sitting in the parking lot looking in, you could potentially see it that way, but you would not see it from the road. Yeah, in fact, I was just down there today with her, looking across the street at the car dealership there, and I said to her, this thing's glowing off the road. It's not, it's kind of an eyesore a little
Yeah,
bit.
the same,
And,
yeah, the lighting that was in the dealership, and yeah, that's not the look.
That's not a look we're
we
looking
would be
for.
going for. No, not at all.
So my recommendation is all clear glass, Alex, on the restaurant booth side because of the rustic wood on the inside.
Yeah, no, I think it would look
And
fine there,
then
but.
I might, on your behalf, you know, Alex, you're gonna know more than I do, but I might recommend a black charcoal tinting on the point of sale.
Yeah, I think.
But I
sure.
might leave it so you can see inside, because if you're working on the inside, why not have the advantage of the full glass?
From the inside out.
From inside.
Yeah, yeah,
No, from
sure.
inside, the light comes in while you're working, so you have an advantage, like for the daylight hours, you have the advantage of having light, but from outside, it's almost the mirror effect, you
Right.
can't
Yeah,
see
right.
in.
It'll stop the heat too.
Right.
Yeah, something,
Better.
that'd be better for us.
And
Yeah.
so I'm absolutely, totally opposed to illuminated signage on the inside back walls,
Yeah.
because
That
of these
doesn't
full
sound
height
like that's
glass.
what you guys are doing.
No, no,
So I think,
that's not what we're
I think the rustic wood
Yeah.
is gonna absorb the light, it'll
yeah.
subdue it,
It'll give it a
and
warmer
it'll give
look.
it a warm look.
Yeah, I agree.
The thing these days is that dark up top and then really illuminate hard on the bottom. Our model's actually kind of the opposite. We have a nice, the ceiling's really light, whereas everything else is really dark below. So it doesn't create that big illumination like you said.
We agree with you, and we currently don't plan on any signage. We may plan on doing a mural on the interior of the restaurant, but that would be the only thing.
That's
And
the other
and it
side.
wouldn't have a logo, it wouldn't have any
Yeah.
text, it would just be an image that we would work with a local artist to put in.
But that's on the wall, as you're coming straight in from the parking lot, that's on the wall, it's
Yeah.
right against the.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
you can't see it from west side.
No.
No, you can't see
West
it.
Road.
Exactly, and that would be our only plans, yeah.
Make sure the number's on the building.
It will be there. Absolutely.
Okay, I'm done, next.
I have a comment on the west elevation,
Okay?
just based on the design, this elevation particularly, a lot of that corrugated siding, I know it's not that much of a focus, it looks like there's a big tree at the corner there, so you're not gonna see a ton, but, you will read that elevation, especially with, the southwest corner also being, a solid chunk of that black siding, so I'm just wondering whether there's an opportunity to either integrate the wood siding or keep some of the brick pilasters along that elevation just to break it up a little bit, because again, right now, that's just one big black elevation other than the two windows.
We could definitely put together some options for that.
Yeah.
That's not a problem. That'll lighten it up a little bit. The reason we pulled the brick originally had to do with the drive-through windows and safety.
Got it.
But I think there's we could get a look that would work on that.
yeah, maybe playing with the location of the windows, something above the window with the wood panels, but it's just a suggestion.
A little less industrial, a little more light.
Yeah, and especially because you're in your car and you're driving right past that, so.
Yeah, absolutely.
You want to make that look as good as you can.
Let's talk about your signs. Let's talk about your pole sign. Give us your exact specs to start. I'll say we appreciate that you didn't put hot chicken on there. I think you got,
We're moving away from the branding hot chicken. It's gonna be a solely bird code. There's a little too much for hearing, absolutely.
100%. So what are your sizes? I don't see them on my files here.
There's another handout with a sign.
Perfect. Here we go.
Now, the sign also is replacing an existing pole sign.
The pole is there, the top of it is new.
So, yeah,
Yes.
this outside circle is 51 inches in diameter, and then the bird code, the little icon, thank you, is 40 inches tall.
I'm pretty sure that's a downsize too from what's currently there.
I believe that it is.
It is, yeah, 'cause I was talking to someone.
Let's not talk about what's currently there, because what was there was long ago. It was never okay with ARB. So let's drop that off the table here. Let's talk about what's there
Yeah, we
now.
didn't like that much.
Okay? So you're proposing a 26-inch tall, 40-inch tall logo or no?
40 inch, the logo is 40 inches, the diameter of the circle is 51 inches.
And the significance of the image at night is that it does not, that the bird logo will be backlit, but the rest of the sign is not illuminated, so it sort of blends into the back.
Remove the darkness. Oh, thanks.
Into the darkness?
No.
Well, I personally have a problem with the lighting of it. You have a whole site that's gonna be lit to the extreme. You've got 12 pole signs, you've got light coming down from awnings, too much light. It's a lot. So I'm personally, the board can speak, not a fan of that being lit, and no chance on the size of that logo, 15 inches. So I don't think there's a need for it. You guys, I think it kind of actually takes away from, you guys are going for like kind of like, it looks like almost like a modern farmhouse sleek feel. You put up this logo that, to me, reads more, I also have a good word for it. I don't know, it doesn't read, you always have good words for these type of things.
Oh my God, I don't know what it was.
It was like it just doesn't seem, doesn't fit dairy.
Incongruous.
Incongruous, that's beautiful.
We'll pull it.
Yeah, let's get rid of it.
Let's get rid of it. We'll pull it.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah.
Your building,
Yeah,
in that corner, like, that's it, you got it all going on right there.
Yeah, that's not a problem. Yeah, we can absolutely do that.
I like,
We got enough road frontage.
Yeah.
It's pretty odd, yeah. Pretty awesome.
so that's a good compromise, because I was gonna have a problem with your building logo as well, right? Again, you're breaking, so what we do on Post Road is 15 inches high, max of letters and logo. What do you guys feel, Barry, what do you guys think about that, do you, Riley?
So what's the size of the logo?
The letters are 25, the logo's 26.
On the, this is gone, they put this one
So
here.
the burger shakes and fries, when we did that, it had the logo on the side, not burger shakes and fries, the other one.
Shake Shack?
Shake Shack.
Shake Shack.
Yeah, because it had that burger logo, and I think because of its location, and, there's this whole debate about,
Right, the speed of which
the
you.
speed of, just how quickly you can absorb that information. And I think we gave an exception on that, where it was slightly bigger than 15 inches.
Yeah, you might be right.
And I think in this case, it might be a similar condition.
Liz, don't we have a different zoning here?
On,
This area of
I think
town?
it's the same as the Shake Shack. It's
No,
like
this is a different area of town. We have different zoning here.
Yeah, what kind of zoning is
No,
it?
they're both service business.
They
Yeah.
SB, okay.
So how,
And I
so
believe
back to
that,
the size of the sign, size of the logo is different here than it is in different areas of town.
Yes, this isn't considered, someone mentioned automobile-related service business zone, which is here where Shake Shack is, versus CBD downtown where it's more pedestrian-oriented. You get a little less signage.
So what's our limit on the sign letter size and logo size in this zone? Do you remember, Liz?
I can't, I don't think I've ever seen anything over 20 inches, but I don't want to be quoted on that, I don't know. Dave, tell us. Jay, you have something to say?
Dave,
correct me if I'm wrong, I think our signage consultant designed this, making sure that we met the maximum height letters for the SB zone. We had like a pre-app just to make sure we met the, you know,
Right, 934,
meets and
935.
bounds, yeah, so, I can pull that out right now, but.
If you're meeting our limits for that at 26, I mean, it fits well on the building,
Yes.
I'm not gonna argue that, but we've done this before, and then what looks good on paper when we get to the site, where sometimes we're like, whoa, you know, that's a little more than, it's heavy and big.
In context to the building, I mean,
Right.
it is big, but I don't think it's at a scale to the building.
Yeah, I agree.
So if it's in scale to the building and it's your
It's the only
sign.
identifier also.
And
Right.
you're only putting it on one side, you're not doing it on the two corners. I don't know, I actually don't have issue with the size of it.
Well, just.
I don't, it's,
All
first of all,
right.
it's not a like in your
Yeah.
face logo, it's kind of the words and the logo kind of go together. I don't know, to me, it's not offensive.
Yeah, I think it fits, even if it's above, and especially without the pole sign.
It's well anchored, it sits above the awning, above the eyebrow. I think it looks right.
We appreciate that. That is a good compromise to remove the
Wait, we're
non-conforming
talking about the
sign.
pole sign or
We're talking about the pole sign they yanked.
The what?
They yanked the pole sign.
They're not doing it, Paul.
We just talked
removed
about
the
it.
pole
Now we're
sign.
gonna have a.
You checked out after the inside. You remember you said you were done? We stopped including more conversation.
We're not doing the pole
I
sign.
had a sidebar, I just had it
So
with
we're gonna
myself.
have backlit behind that.
So, pole signs, no, but the board seems to be okay with the wall sign, this thing that's 26 inches high,
What kind of
logo
lighting have you gotten back on that one?
25 inches high. The logo's
The lighting.
26.
Logo's 26, the lettering's 25.
Yeah,
And the lighting?
the lighting.
What's gonna light them?
It's haloed, so it's illuminated from behind, reflects against the back of the building.
All right, so it's illuminated behind each,
Behind each
glow.
letter, yeah.
It's a glow?
It's not necessarily a glow, no. It's their LED.
It's not this glow.
No, it's not as deep.
No.
That's,
It's a soft glow.
yeah,
A soft glow.
it's a soft
Why are
glow.
we giving up a pole sign?
Why are we giving up? What do you mean? They're not
I'm
doing
taking
pole
my
sign.
hat off of ARB and I'm going over to the other side of the fence for a minute. Why would we give up a pole sign?
I wish I could re-record the whole conversation we just had for 5 minutes about it. It said it was,
It was out of scale.
It's superfluous. You've got a building that's got a corner that's got some major visibility and a great backdrop for the logo and the sign of the establishment. Why do you need something just like literally across the driveway? It's
Okay, on
more the
behalf
same.
of somebody who's not here, the reason signs are never given up in New York City is you can't get them back. Once this pole goes away, you can't get it back.
I think this is the
So-
lost part of Darien that needs that update, right? We're moved away from that. But
All right, I'll just go sit in the closet on the inside.
Well, I will say, the owner of the building is not here, and we should consult with him to ensure that he's comfortable with that, but as tenants, you are
I
comfortable
think we're
not
wrong.
having pole signage. But we can confirm that with staff, so.
Could you pull the pole sign at the other end of the building?
No, I mean, honestly, I'd leave it where it is, where, you know,
they pulled it, why are you, like, I think we had like
because I
a majority
disagree with,
board
I
that was.
disagree with pulling it. You guys can overrule me and I'll go sit in the closet in the back of the room.
So you wanna know whether you like the pole sign?
No, I don't like it or dislike it. I'm worried about it leaving when it should be there. And that's when I first started the discussion was about the size of the logo. It wasn't on the building, it was on the size of the sign. I mean, the pole sign.
But
Well,
that's an
that's not
argument.
the rule in Darien. You said it was a rule in New York. We could probably
No,
put.
I mean, I understand that, but I'm using examples of, like, we had a building in New York. That's how the whole thing started, way back when. And the sign stayed up there for 40 years in a dilapidated way because you can't give up the sign. Once you have it, you keep it.
Alright.
But I mean,
Mr.
here,
Mr.
when we
Barron's
first discussed, I was
Yeah.
worried about the size of the logo on the pole sign. And according to our regulations, the logo is correct in size.
Not that logo on the sign, the logo on the sign was huge. Either way, the majority of us didn't like it, and it was good, and they agreed, there's like, yank it. So you're not gonna put, I'd love
Okay,
to move
never
on.
mind.
So just to interject briefly, Mr. Brown does make a point, as Jackie mentioned, because we're not the owners, we're just the tenant. Well, the tenant is more than happy to pull the sign, we should check with Mr. Nielsen first to see that as the property owner. It is, yeah.
They're by variance.
as Jackie just reminded me, that sign was approved by the ZBA, there was a variance approval for that, so that would be a major give back by the property owner that we should just clarify with them.
Well, you're redoing the sign so significantly, it's a full different expense, the same.
But from a zoning perspective, while it does require new approval through this commission, the location of the sign, because it is not expanding in size, it's actually decreasing in size, but staying in the exact same location, would have continued zoning support because they have a variance to allow this sign there. So it's just a stylistic application to you. So we understand your position, and also as the tenant is comfortable removing it, but just so that all parties' points are represented appropriately for purposes of the record, and we can vet everyone's expectations. We'll speak to the owner tomorrow and follow up with staff.
Yeah, and then just to answer that, I think the question on the maximum size of the wall signage, you were right, Dave, it's 26 is the max that you're allowed in the auto type district, and then you all as the ARB can approve more than 26 inches, but we're not asking for that. We think
I don't think you need it to be
right,
bigger.
So,
Do you want more signs on your building? Do you feel like you need it on another side?
No.
I mean, I think we've got it right
There's
here.
the back and whatever, okay.
I have a question about the backlighting of bird code. In your proposal, it looks like it's red.
We were looking for two red, yes.
So, I mean, here it's showing on the black background, you're gonna have reclaimed wood. It's gonna have a different.
Different glow. It'll soften it up a little bit with the reclaim. Absolutely. We can have the sign come and put together rendering on reclaim as well.
Yeah.
Or you can look at that.
I think so, because this is really, really hot. Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about this?
And a little,
that's
a
bad.
little too much.
Right, because the wood will absorb most of that, and it'll be
So
very
I'm not
soft.
really liking the wood.
Okay.
No. I think your rendering is a day shot, right? So you won't see it at night, it could be a little.
So you're preferring more of more just a kind of a white look?
A glow,
Soft,
Yes, a
right?
glow.
If it was just
White,
white
soft.
and glowing.
A dignified glow.
I like it.
I like it too.
Is that it on signs? Is it on signs?
So you concur that a soft white would be preferable?
Yeah, it's something that it's something we can look at. We'll have our sign company go and
And I
put
think
together some
rendering
renders.
it
have
like
to see
night
the
and day
sign.
view, just to see what it
We'll get
looks
you
like
better
on the
rendering.
reclaimed wood background, but.
Awesome. We can do that.
If that's all on signs.
No, it's not all.
Oh, okay.
Your landscape plan, our landscape architect isn't here, but has sent plans on it. We've looked through it extensively, you don't have to represent it here, unless anyone wants to talk about it. I'm gonna give you guys some feedback about it, so you can send a revised plan. In general, I guess I'd use the word uninspiring to a degree. I think that whole section of Darien just has been overlooked as far as the landscape, and we're trying to make a better entrance to our town. I'd love to see a list that shows what was removed. Looks like a significant number of plants have been removed and trees. If there have been trees removed, I'd love to see in your plan what you're replacing, trees that you're replacing that with. We have a list of approved street trees on our Darien Town Plan Guide. I think you guys have probably seen that. If you could grab one of those trees off of that list. So mostly it's just going over what's being taken away and what's going in and what's going in there to make sure that there's.
How many trees are desirable? Just one?
I'm sorry, Jack, did you have a?
Richard Richard prepared the landscape plan. He can.
Yes, Richard Fontaine of Richard Civil Engineering. Basically, we are replacing trees, they're called out in the schedule. We're putting in, we took out some of the trees to introduce a drive aisle because of the circulation. Originally, the bank had an entrance here. We were removing that entrance and we're locating it here for the purpose of two things. We have two circulation patterns. One is the drive-through, which will come around the entire perimeter of the building. There'll be a right-hand exit here, and we're also introducing this drive-through aisle, which was not there before. That would allow customers from the drive-through to do a left-hand turn out of the site. And then the second pattern that we have is inside dining customers. They would also come around here inside this pattern, and this would be the drive-through that they would make. And they could also either go right or left out of that. Out of that relocated entrance. As far as the trees are concerned, we're keeping the exact buffer that we have, that bank tradition that they had already. We are introducing a series of trees here to keep the headlights away from this property here. So this is a screening, essential, of trees, mountain laurels, we have swamp azalea, we have red maples that are coming here, which would also screen the building off somewhat. And we do have a lot of mountain laurels in front. The rendering that the architect showed you was enhancing the building more. And you don't see the trees that are screening the building from that rendering. However,
would they screen it to the point that it would obscure the building from a certain direction? No, that's, okay. That's not per regulation. Okay, just a question.
And basically, and then the other aspect I wanted to speak about was the lighting.
George, you mind if I touch on the landscaping?
Yeah,
for a second?
if you would.
So, what we were looking to do is we looked at the current plan that was already in place and what the current conditions of the space were. So we took what the recommendations were last time and tried to implement those into the new plan. You asked about replacements with trees and that. We're down one tree, everything else is one for one replacement. There would be 3 trees on the road line, and then everything else is about 3 to 4 feet high. Because he's talking about azalea, there was supposed to be a mountain laurel, a few of the other ones.
Swamp azalea. We have the 4 red maples in the relocated islands.
Yep.
Also Japanese Paris.
Yeah, the Japanese Paris, which is the trees.
And then English boxwood, which would be a short shrub that goes around.
We're trying to, and with that, we're trying to create a buffer between the sidewalk, obviously, and any of the parking lot. Yeah, and doing that with English boxwood.
But you're removing multiple trees from the road, though, from the road?
No, it wouldn't be from the roadside. The only one.
No, we're moving them from the drive aisle that we want to introduce in the front.
Okay, let's do simple math. Can you just give me the numbers of how many trees you're removing and how many trees you're gonna be bringing in? If you don't have it here, just email it to us.
We can get it for you. We'll get it for you.
Perfect.
Sure,
Done.
actually, I can
We'll save
count
time.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 trees we're removing.
Let me go back and confirm though, just because I think there might be a few more, because not everything was listed on the initial survey, because we're still on the ground.
Bottom line is, we're putting in more trees than we're taking out.
Okay, I'd love to see those numbers. If you guys give us those numbers. We've got a landscape architect that knows every tree in town.
Is that right?
Beautifully. You would be amazed by this. So I'd love that count, what's being removed, and then what's coming in exactly. And check what's bringing in, if it's on we've got a list, we've got a parking lot tree list, we've got a street tree list. You familiar with it?
We're familiar with all of them, yeah.
Okay, absolutely, great. So that'll save us time, make sure so there's stuff on there so that we can cross-reference, okay.
Okay.
Perfect.
And as far as lighting, currently, there's a perimeter lighting. Here's what I'm gonna do. Pretty much all these lights are existing. We're not changing any of the parking areas, the same basic area, the same locations. We're not changing anything, so we're keeping the existing lighting. The only thing we're adding, or that is different, is this light where the entrance was is being turned 90 degrees inwards towards the building. And we're also adding this light to complete the lighting of the entire site. And that's the only difference we have.
Okay.
we're gonna one-for-one match the current design that's in place as well, as you were saying, for that one that we're adding,
Right.
exact same design as currently.
It's exact same type of light fixture. And basically what you see here is the glow ability. One candle flip on the outside perimeter, 2 candle flips, or 3 candle flips. So
You guys-
basically our lighting is within the property.
Okay. You're not gonna get it too much here, and Mr. Riley is really well understanding of the lumen scale, right, and what we can use in these, but, when this goes to planning and zoning, I'll just say on record that you guys, it's gonna be very sensitive how much lighting's on this property and just your neighbors. You mentioned it, you're thinking about it, but like, I know there's screening there, but there's gonna be more light, more traffic, the bank wasn't open at night, right? You know, I mean, people are gonna be coming at night, there's gonna be lights, it's gonna be different. I think you guys are gonna have to consider more screening, and I know it's not what's gonna be, right, but it's a very residential area, people over there are very protective of it being residential and keeping that feel. I am concerned with the amount of light, I understand why and the need, and you're using what's there, you're not adding, but I just think it's important to state that I think some high sensitivity should be
When you say
considered.
more screening, in the rear, say in the rear block of residential
I
property?
wanna see some landscaping along the road, it worries
Okay.
me, but I'll see, I just feel like it's sparse, it's not, I understand the need, you wanna see, you have a beautiful place to bring a lot of energy to, so we don't wanna take away from that, right? We don't want to compete. But I'm a little worried about looking start, and as far as screening goes, yes, all along that back wall, the west side and the back wall, not your neighbor to the right here on the east, but along that whole back wall and or the drive-through.
No, the back.
Yep, that side and then the whole back wall. Like, there's screening there, I gotta go and look again, but.
No.
Yeah, that's where we're putting all
There's a
screening.
fence.
No, he's talking about the
back.
back, towards the houses.
here?
No,
The houses.
Oh, back here.
Yeah, back there.
Yeah, there's actually 2 fences.
Oh, there's a
There
lot
are-
of evergreens and
There's a lot of big.
there's a lot of big evergreen that screens that back, and there's a fence also.
I can share that with you.
No,
I do have a
there's
photograph
16
of the
trees.
existing, but, just in the interest of your time tonight, having been with you on this exact topic this time last year, I understand what you're asking about the lighting, so we will confer together and make sure that we have that information to share with you and then for zoning.
Okay.
But also, there are 2 fences,
Yeah.
and they
Yeah,
are
enough connectors.
actually, I think they're
Yeah, the
6
lower
6 feet
canopy.
high,
No,
at
they're 6
least in
feet.
the back.
Oh, at
And
least,
so what
yeah.
we did in preparation for this application is we did go through the rest, what you can see. We observed what you can see from the residential side. There are large plantings there. I will share those pictures with you because I took those in the spring, in May of this year after I think we first met. And so that you could see full blooming trees, as opposed to now when you'll see nothing. But I understand what you're asking for.
But
There
then
are
that's the point
evergreens
too,
as
like,
well.
if it's a tree that's not in bloom all full
There are
year,
evergreens
like, right,
there,
that's a
so.
concern, right? Because then it's
Sure.
gonna be a long winter, right?
That's why I want to show you what's there.
Oh, there's a lot
And
of
I'll take
pine.
pictures of what's there now too.
Pine.
But I think that there's a way to mitigate any of those issues, but we'll study what the lighting is now, make sure it's all full cut off and doesn't have any spillage over beyond that.
And that goes back to that whole calculation of exactly what's being taken away and what's being removed, like very clearly laid out. And what is being replaced with it, right? If it's a maple, that's better to think about than if it's a pine, the same, right? That sheds less, blah, blah, blah.
Also, what is the condition of the fence and how high is the fence? Is it a 6-foot fence, is it a 4-foot fence?
It's
Oh, it's a 6-foot fence. And not only that, there's ivy all over it. It's very, like, woodsy area, it stands out to me.
So is it a wood fence?
It's a wood fence.
It's a wood fence.
One other quick question. You thought out how you're gonna drain that canopy over the outdoor seating area?
Gutter system, it's gutter system that runs down the rail. The manufacturer, we use a company called Onyx. They manufacture these for many national brands. They have a gutter system that basically takes it completely away from the consumer.
It's internal? like-
Yeah, it's all internal, yeah.
If I may, if you all don't mind, I'm happy to pass you my phone, but that's taken from the residential road that is parallel to the post
Look at
road.
the
So you
back
can
of it.
see both the grade changes, which is good for this case. The post road is a little bit lower. So the location of the fence, and that's the double fence, so you're seeing the fence from the residential side, and then there's another fence on our side. They are nearly identical, but they are in fine shape. There are young pines there that have been planted on the residential side at the property owner's expense, but then to the extent that we can provide any additional mitigation. But now, if you are standing on the road that's behind that, forgive me, I forget the name of the road, but Jason, do you remember, we just thank you, yeah, we just noticed our neighbors to have an early dialogue, that you actually can't see, it looks from the eye level that the base of the roof and the top of the fence match, in that photo, at least. I mean, that's taken just from my car in the middle of the road.
Right. A lot of my concern is more like the glow.
Sure,
right?
no, I understand.
The glow of the property, right, from a place that has been dark. And I mean, you guys are from you guys get small business, you get it, right? It's just, it's
We'll get
a
to that
concern.
answer.
I think it's like when you're putting this planning scheme together, doing a little more, to soften that, however that may, or, as your eliminations, when you guys come back to us, and put, send us these new materials, like, if you actually have the lumens that are gonna be in your pole lamps, I would appreciate that.
Well, it does report that the lumens are, again, those are the existing, pretty substantial, it's just, but they're also, the way the design of those lamps is.
Yeah, they're all here.
Oh, the lumens are,
The
yeah,
luminaire schedule is.
yeah, the luminaires are on the plan.
And that fence is thick and there's ivy all over it. So it's a really light absorbing.
And this is,
Especially with the evergreens.
It's more the light still
And
in
this
the
is-
fixture, so, if these fixtures look like a standard, I mean, I'm not a commercial designer, I'm residential, but
Yeah, here's
from what
our-
I can see, it's the type of fixture that keeps the light spill to a
Yeah.
minimum. But I think to your point, the added traffic, staying open until 9 o'clock, I think that's actually more of the concern for what the screening should be addressing than the actual just permanent fixtures. I'm less concerned about the permanent fixtures.
It's almost too bad we don't have pictures of when the bank was open, those evergreen trees were young and slowed down way back, because I mean, that place was lit up like
There was a problem, though, it wasn't well
year-round
received.
Christmas tree. Huh?
And you want to be like, when you're going in a neighborhood, you want people to be excited about it. You don't want, and the bank was never, that was always the problem. There's always complaints about the bank, the lighting on it. So it's just kind of a good, goodwill to the neighborhood to come in on a good note.
This particular building, there was
Yeah,
complaints on the-
to
Well, but
Sean's point, it was
The whole
so,
end down there, when they opened the buildings up, put glass in, it was,
it looked cool.
we in the ARB didn't really have much to say about what was inside until you go by at night and you're like, wait a minute, that's a sign that's so big that you can see it on I-95. And it wasn't a sign, it was the mural on the back wall.
This is, you were saying that location, it's when the plantings were all new, correct? That the lighting was so bad, and it's gotten, it got
Happened to a
considered.
couple of them down there, and so the sensitivity isn't just car lights there, it's the
Yeah.
sensitivity of the overgrown indoor lighting that's moved itself halfway through the parking lot.
So the size of the screening is really, especially for the back of it, that's the issue. We have larger
Yeah.
plants
That's
in there.
substantial
There's-
enough
Yeah,
year round.
year round,
And it's
yeah,
like-
more evergreen based.
Noise screening, kind of, it's the whole, it does the whole package.
Yep.
Okay, anything else, guys? We gotta wrap it up. Are we good? Okay, so, things are looking good. I think you guys did a great presentation, guys. Very exciting. It looks like this is so thoughtful, and I feel like it's gonna be wonderful in Darien. We'd love to see you back with just some of these tweaks that we've talked about, I think it's just gonna be a final meeting to wrap stuff up. Stuff we talked about, integrating the wood material, the soffits, remove the pole sign. I'll ask Sean not to come to that meeting so we can have that, wrap up that conversation.
I'm going to sit and P&Z that night.
What else? No illuminated signs in the building, you guys talked about doing that, right? The sign of the building, 26-inch logo, 25-inch signs, that sounded good. We talked about the change in the halo white lit background on the sign versus, okay. List of the total trees being removed, what's being added.
West side.
Thank you, I couldn't find that in here. And the west side of the building, reworking that so it's not the large flat metal panel, maybe bring in another element. Does that sound right? Sound good?
Yep, that sounds
Wait,
great.
we're getting the number on the building too.
Sean, add in,
I
all right.
wrote that down.
And a number, did you say that, and adding your number to the building, right?
Address number.
Address
Address
number.
number, yep, we're working.
If you have the winning lotto numbers, we'll take those too.
One other clarification question that I have.
Yeah.
You had said
Yeah.
something about wanting to see the one-way glass in those two windows.
Oh, right.
In the
Yeah,
service.
you-
lane.
For the
Do you want
POS.
snap on that, or what were you looking for?
I mean,
I don't
enough
need- I
to
don't
screen
need
from
to.
the outside that you don't see all the stuff on the inside. right?
Is a
So-
note sufficient, or do you want to see a spec on that? Is a note on the plans?
It would be great to see a spec on it, just to, because there are different grades of,
Yeah.
sure, stuff you can put on.
There's a lot of different grades.
But definitely have the visibility from the inside out, and the light penetration.
The other ones are fine.
So in general, the concept is favorable. I think this is just some small things to tweak out. So I think if you guys want to keep moving ahead and order materials, start your site, I mean, so you guys can start progressing. I don't think this is a roadblock, but we would love to see you back for our January meeting. Materials are due January 4th. It comes so soon, so it sounds like it's way off, but it comes very quickly for that. With the holidays. So get materials in by January 4th. We'll see you back. Hopefully we'll give a final stamp on everything, and we'll see you for some chicken.
Great, thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Sorry, just clarification on names. I'm sorry, the two owners' names. I got Brandy and
Phil.
Phil. And
Our last name is Killoran.
Oh, you do that.
K-I-L-L-O-R-A-N.
Great. All right, thank you.
Do you want any extra fees?
Oh, no, we're okay, we'll take it though, if you don't need it, sure.
If you'd like us to recycle them for you, we can.
Yes, absolutely.
No, I just wondered if there's just a lot of paper, if you want some of it back.
We really appreciate the large scale prints. That's great, great presentation.
Thank you for your time. Happy holidays.
Thank you guys, happy
See you
holidays,
guys.
thank you.
Okay, happy holidays.
Yes, I'll come get it.
Okay, guys, last one. We got ARV number 38, 2021, Van Leuven.
They bring samples?
Let's ask. Van Leuven ice cream. Oh, what do you need?
I'm so sorry, I can go around.
What are you getting? What?
Oh, yes. I got it. She was motioning for me, I didn't want to make her wait.
You can come to the side door?
Yes, of course, I'll go outside.
Sir, welcome. This is 114 Heights Road. Let's go to the Federal Realty Building.
Yes, how are you guys? First of all, my name is Jorge Arrieta. I represent Cat Science with the sign applicant for this Van Leuven.
I love it. Okay, and you're spelling your name. I thought it was Alondro.
What was that?
Alondro's not here?
No. I am from the local subcontractor company. My name is Jorge Arrieta.
Jorge, got it. And what, spell your last name for me, Jorge?
Yes, it's Arrieta. And the name of the company that I'm with is Cat Science.
Yes, got
CAD
it.
Science.
Okay, I had Alejandro Galeno.
Yeah, that's my boss though.
Okay, got it, okay.
Alright, so yeah, basically we're presenting over here a proposal of doing pretty much two signs. A set of letters over a canopy. Well, it's basically gonna be a canopy and the letters are gonna be push-through lettering on the canopy. And we are also presenting for a blade sign. It's a double-sided blade sign. So first off, I would like to go around the main sign, which is going to be the canopy. It's a canopy style light box with push-through lettering. By that means, the only the only piece of the sign that is going to be illuminated at itself is the lettering.
Yep.
The rest is meant to be with aluminum. The letters, they're not going to be, as you might see in the drawings that we're showing, an illuminated rendering, or that's what, let's call it like a night view, how the sign is going to bright up at night. We pretty much want to do something not that, let's say, that pops up a little bit. We want to keep it a little bit of a low key. Basically, it's an edge lead illumination. The letters itself are gonna have in the front a black vinyl, which is gonna actually make the at night to be will block a little bit the lighting. Our intentions over here is to make pretty much the sides of the lights of the letters to be lighting up.
So it's kind of like a halo?
Yeah.
Well, you said that maybe, like around the letters, right?
We call it edge lit because
Edge what? Edge lead.
we call it edge lit because it's
Yeah.
basically the little side of the acrylic. As you may see on the drawings, the acrylic is meant to be pushed through and it's meant to stick out about a half an inch. So that half an inch is basically what pretty much gonna light up. The effect that it's gonna cause at night is to pretty much, as you can see in the picture, have like a little outline, which is going to be the one illuminating. 3 feet for the whole canopy depth, and we have a total measurement of 6 feet with 8 inches and 7/8 by 1 feet by 10 inches. The letters itself are going to be, well, the letter V, the first letter, is going to be a feet and 6 inches. I believe that's 18 inches, if I'm not mistaken. And that's pretty much about from the storefront sign. Moving along, we also are proposing for a double-sided blaze sign. And the design for the blaze sign, this is actually kind of Van Leuven's branding. I've been handling a couple of locations in the city, so that's one in other areas, and we're pretty much presenting the same kind of a blaze sign. It's pretty much personally, I like a lot of the design. It's pretty much like an ice cream cone, but it's part of their branding, it's part of their logo. 3 colors. We pretty much have that little light yellow, which is for the cone, a light blue, and a pink color. And it's going to be a whole sign with 2 legs putting up on the wall. It's meant to be illuminated as well. This one is internally illuminated. But that said, as a difference from the storefront sign to this one is not meant to be edge lit. This one, by the other hand, is meant to illuminate pretty much what if you have in colors, which is the pink, the light blue, and the light yellow. That's pretty much for the sign. Although, pretty important to mention is LED illuminated. So as well as the storefront sign. Illumination from the storefront sign is meant to be inside the cabinet. Not sure if you guys have any questions so far.
It's 3 feet tall, that blade sign, is that right?
Correct, 3 feet.
Yeah, it's a lot bigger than that.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
huge.
3 feet is.
It's pretty big, right?
Yeah.
That's enormous, okay. It's enormous.
That's getting,
Yeah, okay.
I mean, it'd be great to see it in context to the elevation of the building, so you can see the perspective of it.
Well, I know the buildings is gonna look actually okay in perspective more than us, because the building's huge, what you're talking
No,
about.
I meant storefront. Like,
Yeah, the
so
storefront,
where-
because the
where-
building is,
Yeah,
yeah.
where it fits in the.
Page 3 of 7.
it's got, but it only shows it,
Yeah, it's the front view.
Yeah.
a
A
perspective.
perspective would help. I mean, it's big, it's almost competing with your entrance canopy.
And it's not actually, it's, I guess it's a sign, but there's no wording or anything, it's just the logo. Is
Yeah,
this
it's-
the actual company logo?
It's pretty much like the cone design. So it's not lettering, it's not.
Is it the company's official logo?
I'm not really sure if it's the company official logo, but I do know from a fact that they are being using it as a let's say like a really iconic piece on their branding. And as I said, like it's not like I have been handling a couple of these locations all around New York City and some places in New Jersey as well, and they pretty much use it like all the time. Like all the late signs, the signs that they come up with are just pretty much like same thing as this one.
Yeah.
Also, you guys, if I may, I'm Julie from,
Ju-
and I'm representing.
Please,
Yeah,
Julie.
yeah. I'm with DMA and I work with Federal Realty, I'm their tenant coordinator. So from a scale and pedestrian standpoint, we sort of studied that the scale of that does work well on the building, and just from a pedestrian visibility factor and sort of proportions. So it does lay out well on the building.
If you're walking under that, Julie, you have a sign, that sign's bigger than 3 of my children.
It's,
I mean, that might excite them, I mean, I don't know, maybe that's a good thing. but I don't
Right.
know,
I
I
could
don't-
probably get a perspective done. I can likely get that done through one of our rendering companies.
I'd love to see you guys show another size of it.
I mean,
Okay.
it's up
It's
at your
too much.
higher band, it's not at your, like,
Exactly.
Correct,
Exactly.
that's another important,
so it's not,
important thing.
it's more of like,
It's relatively high up.
yeah.
Yeah, there's
That's
no-
why the scale
no danger
does
of,
need-
like
yeah.
running into it,
Look
but
at that.
Yeah.
it's just, will it, you know, how will the scale play against the
Yeah.
rest of the building? And also, I think for me, it brings up the question about, and we went through this when we went through the whole facade debate about, you know, these are, how does this work? I wish I had that whole package about what do these
Right.
constitute? Are these, you know, like accessories? I forget what the word was for it. As opposed to a blade sign, because does this really fall into the category of a blade sign? It's actually,
It's a sign. I mean, you
Yeah.
think about it,
Yeah.
I mean, I just drew a person relative
What
to.
was the reason for making it 8 inches thick? Is there like?
No, it's
based
just
on
it's
that?
just general. I mean, it's a depth that we handle it so we can put all the lighting components inside. So as well as this transformer, and you know, it's just pretty much for the design.
And when we looked at the whole complex, did we look at where the blade signs would go? I think we did look at where the blade signs were going to go. I don't remember them being up so
That
high.
Yeah, I think that is high, I know.
Like, I thought they were more, you know, above a door, kind of, you know.
But to Dave's point, it's like not a blade sign, it's just, it's like a, I don't know.
Okay.
It's
The
a-
lowest
yeah.
that we want them to be is 8 feet above the finished floor, above the sidewalk.
No, this is definitely above
it's
8 feet.
9'6"
Yeah,
to the
to the
bottom.
But
bottom.
I think what we have to start to consider is what's on
What's
either
got-
side of
yep,
this. and
exactly.
Do they have a blade sign at 8 feet? Because then it's gonna look kind of weird to have one at 8 feet and one at 9'6", and that one's 3 foot high, and it's an ice cream cone, and this one's just a regular blade sign.
I am heavily involved in trying to keep a very steady line between all of that. And I have to be cognizant of everybody's viewpoint as well too. So we are studying that as they come up.
So are you giving
Yeah, but
everybody the parameter of it's gotta be a 9'6" above the sidewalk? And
We do, because we put in blocking for them in the storefronts, you know, so that they actually have support. So
Yeah.
we're trying to control them.
So we can anticipate everybody that comes here with a blade sign is gonna have it up high,
Yes,
and it's gonna be big.
yes.
But when we say up high,
Well,
8
above,
foot above finished floor to the bottom, or 9'6" to the bottom?
9'6" to the bottom.
Yeah, plus another 3 feet,
Yeah,
and it's illuminated.
yeah,
Yeah.
I know. That's why, like, I wanted to get a better understanding of like,
I
is
mean,
that, I don't
look at
think.
Goodwives, when we talked about it earlier. I mean,
Yeah.
there's, the store number changes all the time, but every single one of them has a blade sign. And as I asked Kevin,
Right,
every form has to be the same, because
Right.
it's standard all the way underneath.
Right.
And I think we have to do the same thing here.
well, it starts to look circusy is the thing, like, I could see this being cool, like one off, but when you think about the larger context of what it will start to look
Goes back
like.
to that whole visual cacophony.
I know.
Yeah,
Well, then
it's
you-
just
then you're
we're
good.
trying to give everyone their own visual
I
sort
know.
of
Yeah,
independence.
but within the confines of what you have. And remember, you know, when you look at the front of page 3, where'd it go?
Yeah,
I mean,
page
you
3.
know, you add another 3 feet and you're at the base of the residential.
Yeah.
So to me, it's too close to the first apartment above it and illuminated. So I look at it and say, 8 foot above finished floor is plenty high to walk by and no illumination on the blade sign. Now, I don't know, I remember this, but I don't remember having that discussion with Federal about,
We said anything like this has to come back to us, because it's special.
Yeah,
right.
Because they don't get illumination, that's the whole point. Walgreens tried it, we said no.
no, I think no illumination. I think we go back, we're gonna have to say, you know, I think the blade sign has to be reasonable.
Like a normal blade sign, which is like no more than 2 feet, a foot by 2 feet. That actually isn't too big, maybe.
So is the 9 inches by 3 feet based on whatever square footage was put in?
Well, you guys, and let me go back, because for some, I think that 9'6" is actually higher than we're wanting those limits to be. So can I go back and sort of do a quick study, and I will shrink that to a 2'6". I'll shrink it to a 2, and then we can sort of globally look at that again, and I'll set it at 8 feet, I'll set it at
Yeah.
8'6".
Yeah, let's-
Yeah,
I
yeah.
need to look at where we're consistently putting the blocking on the storefront, because I think that 9.6 dimension is higher than intended to be.
Well, because the blade sign, when we envisioned that, the whole point was it was a pedestrian walking. So for people who are not driving by this, it's people walking into, it's an identification. It's not, I see what you guys are doing here. It's supposed to be a fun, like grab your ice cream, but like that wasn't our intention when we said everyone can have a second sign will be a blade sign. That, right, does that make sense? So something 8 inches thick and 3 feet, right? I think the blade, it can be accomplished at 1.5 feet tall, 1 inch thick, hanging so when you're walking with your kids, you see, even if it's, we say the ice cream cone's cool, it's not your logo, but it's what you guys want to do. Like, okay, that's cool. Yeah, maybe that's worth trying, but like.
Let me do a scale study for us. Yeah, absolutely. I'm in agreement. I mean, we want this to look all very proportioned and have the scale correct, absolutely, for all of these. And it's a
absolutely,
it's a cohesive collaboration with everybody. So
yeah, the other thing I'd look at is from as far as your blocking is the over the door canopy is 3 feet out.
Yeah.
And where's the blade sign going to be? 2 window panes to the right or left. It's going to be tucked behind the canopy, because when you bring it down to the 8-foot level, you're going to be in the same plane as the canopy. So you're going to lose the feel of the blade sign.
yeah, let me, if everybody's okay with that, I'll take this back to our design team and sort of do a scale and placement study moving forward.
And I might say, I don't know, I'm asking your questions, in the LED equipment on the inside of the canopy, for the main door sign, does it have to be 3 feet out, or can you drop it back to 16, 18 inches?
You mean for the whole canopy? Like for the
yeah, so when you look at the width of the canopy off the front facade,
right,
you're drawing it as 3 feet out over, which is, a canopy for rain and everything else.
Correct.
The question then becomes to federal. Should that canopy need no more than 18 inches, and it's no longer a wind or rain or protection piece, it's just the illumination piece.
It's an eyebrow now.
It's an eyebrow,
yeah.
Because at 3 feet, you will never see the blade sign, because you're going to be same over finished floor height from one direction. Do you understand? You know what I'm saying? You'll see it at an angle, you'll see it coming from the other way, but if you're up against the wall walking down the sidewalk, you won't see the blade sign.
Right.
And then my question then becomes, is 3 feet too far? Should this be 18 inches? If you can put the LEDs in here,
no, the LEDs can be
it's not a canopy.
Put, yeah.
It's just something to hold the name.
Right, right.
I'd prefer that shrunk.
I mean, with this many tenants in line and keeping everything at a consistent level, there are going to be overlapping perspectives coming from some directions. Where obviously you'll be able to see it from some, and there will be some that will be covered. And unfortunately, it does happen in sort of a mixed-use, multi-tenant sort of.
Oh, I totally agree, but I'm just,
Yeah.
but I'm just saying, like, when you start at 3 feet, you've taken an awful lot away from the sides on, the tenant to the left, the tenant to the right, because this becomes your predominant side. Then I'm almost saying, if it really is going to be 3 feet, why not put the blade sign on the side of this? I mean, it sounds. I mean, why 2 window panes down? 2 window panes is what, 8 feet? Where'd my drawing go?
I think it's the neutral.
Yeah, so, if you're looking at 2 panes down.
Yeah.
What's the significance of this at 8 foot versus on the side of the 3 foot? Or drop the canopy to make it an eyebrow, as you said, to maybe 12 inches, just to get the LEDs in it.
Sure, we'll look at it.
And then the blade to me has more of an impact.
Yeah.
I guess also structurally is a 3-foot canopy, is there a wind issue there? And has that been?
Yeah, I mean, it's 8 feet wide.
Yeah, that
3 feet,
thing,
that's a
there's
big.
some uplift on that.
Yeah.
And if it's just going on a storefront, I mean, there's, again, I'm sure got engineers and
exactly
people at the wazoo, but it's, I think it could be a very expensive canopy at the end of the day.
3 feet seems a little deep, especially because it's one of the more narrow spaces.
Yeah, but it's the first one. It's going to set a precedent, so I think we tuck it back in.
that's, yeah, part of
Yeah,
it.
Because we fought so hard over the front of the storefronts to keep the decor and the look really appealing.
Yeah.
That I hate for individual tenants just to, oosh, stick this out there when it really has no impact.
Right.
One thing you may be able to help with is, I don't know whether, obviously all of these spaces are, you know, to be determined at this point, but potentially utilizing some of the, you know, existing renderings that you have of what kind of you envisioned the storefronts looking like, and then showing how this one that is being proposed fits in with what that perspective looks like.
I actually have those for us, because I promised those as these tenants would come online, that we would drop them in custom-wise, above and beyond what has been seen before. So I actually do have, I'll just pass these, and you can take one off the top, so.
You score an A for preparation.
So this shows that, you'll see this is in R3, and you'll see the key on the bottom page. And really, the custom ones that have been dropped in here so far are the Van Leeuwen, as seen, and then also Sweetgreen, which came in last month. So we will continue to plug these in as they, now just the custom ones, because they're different than what you guys have seen.
I assume this is a model where you can shoot a perspective shot of this.
Yes, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think I can get all of that in perspective and look at it from different views.
That would be very
And I'll
helpful to
present
looking
that.
at it.
Yeah, sure,
Right on.
I'll send it over, yeah.
Like, imagine like you're standing on the sidewalk and having the long view.
I gotcha,
Right.
yeah, exactly, and I'll do it from both sides.
Yeah.
And then I can send that over to you guys as it gets done, because I would hate to wait for next month, unless we have to, but we can send it pre-over for you.
We're gonna need to see you guys next month, the whole reapplication.
Oh, I'm gonna
anyways.
see you guys for the next like 12 months.
Right. But the application, we're gonna see like a whole, I think we need to see a whole new, rendering with, you know, the different sizes, and that blade sign not illuminated.
And I will work with Jacqueline and your team on this, and
Correct.
I'll circle back with them tomorrow and tell them what we need to do.
Then you should-
So, we'll do a study, we'll do a study on it.
Yeah.
I do like the way the main canopy sign is illuminated. I think it's very.
It's actually a beautiful
It's
effect with that.
lovely,
Yep.
it's elegant.
That's meant to keep.
It's
Yeah.
very
So
sophisticated.
I think that's well done.
It's just the depth is
Yeah.
what's.
I would just tuck it back in, and then, I tell you, it would be really cool if they did a lot more of them like that, just change the color of them.
Yeah,
That would look
yeah,
nice.
this is
I mean,
really,
this is
really
gonna
nice.
be really good looking, I just
Yeah.
think the 3 feet is too far, and the blade sign is just becomes, superfluous.
All right, so Julie and Jorge, we need to see you guys again, so you know, canopy, you know, length of the canopy, bringing it back, the actual design you guys did looks good. I know your logo is actually a little over our max, but I think it's okay. It's 16 inches, but I think it's gonna be okay, because I saw the rest of your letters are 6, so I'm willing to pass that over if the rest of the ARB is.
The script's not
Yeah.
so bad.
And then the blade sign, too large to illuminate, no illumination, new size, new location on building.
Okay.
Right? Pitch us what you want, your ideal, but then also pitch us what we're saying too, like, you know, 8 feet off the ground, you know, foot and a half out, right, it's,
Yeah.
so that way we can walk out of here with a solution, and that says, you know, we don't.
So, just to be, so I'm 100% clear, the blade sign, you guys don't want for a maximum of 2 feet, right?
I think scale-wise, a blade sign that's 2 feet high, that's
It's too
how
big.
big that is.
That's still huge, right? It's like
But at, you know, if the bottom of it is at 8 feet,
yeah.
I think that would be.
that's okay.
That's
But it
not
also,
the call.
but it also comes out of the scale, once you reduce the ice cream cone, how big is really gonna look, whether it's 2 feet of high, but how about the width, you know?
Also, I think it's because the width is shorter, 2 feet,
Yeah.
if it was a
Yeah,
foot wide, 2
yeah.
feet would be different.
Yeah, but like 2 inches wide or something would be fine, at 2 feet.
I mean,
Also,
what-
because it's in a pedestrian kind of setting, people are walking, their pace is a little slower, so they have time to kind of see this object, you know, and it won't be overwhelming on the facade.
Maureen, let's talk to Jacqueline and
Yeah.
the Van Leeuwen team, and we'll look at it, because now we've got an 86 the illumination, so that is
Correct,
going to
correct.
sort of change the design of
Agreed.
that blade sign. So let's let's look at it comprehensively.
Yeah.
Scale, then we'll drop it and you're appropriately.
All right, then I'm gonna say,
Yeah.
that's big anywhere.
Yeah.
My last,
Where is this gonna be?
yeah, my last question for you guys, as Marion brought up, what is this?
It's a vinyl. That's
Where is it?
That's inside.
yeah, that's
window?
actually inside the store.
It's inside the store.
Is it lit?
In the window?
No, it's a vinyl. Matter of fact, I believe if I'm not mistaken, the drawing shows for a. This gonna be located inside the store in a wall, but it's just a vinyl graphic.
Okay, like
It's
along
not
one
even
wall.
in our design zone.
Correct.
Or any, it probably shouldn't even be attached to
Okay.
this at all.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's
I think they're just trying to show you their brand.
I appreciate that, no, I
Yeah.
appreciate, that's nice, you guys.
Yeah.
And same with
And
the
the
pink.
same with this inside.
Yeah, it's TV.
Yeah, this one is just
Yeah,
a
so I saw that.
like let's say PVC board, but this goes inside the store as well.
Okay.
You know,
This is inside.
Okay.
And just quickly, Julie, what's your last name, please?
Brock, B-R-O-C-K.
Okay, great, thank you.
So, who do you guys want me to write a letter to? I'll send a letter to recap what we're doing here.
Send it to his team.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
It's good that they've got it in their.
I think I've got
records. I'll
Alejandro's
get it.
contact. I think I've got Alejandro's contact.
yeah.
Boss.
I mean,
All right, I'll put your name on too.
Yeah.
Arietta, okay. All right, that sounds good. And I was gonna ask you, yeah, Julie, moving forward, I think like we're on the same page here about like seeing, you know, everything in perspective, right?
I'm with you.
Right?
Yep.
One's the left, one to the right, the walk view, yeah.
Yeah.
It's so helpful for all of it.
Yeah, I got you.
Okay, thanks. I know it's not ideally what you guys came out with, but I think it was a great discussion. I think we've got a good next step here, right?
Agreed.
yeah, for sure.
All right, thanks. I'm sorry you guys had to wait so long.
Yeah, no, not a problem.
So what you can do is get on the agenda quickly now for January, get the materials in ASAP, so you're first on the next one.
Exactly,
They're
yeah.
due January 4th.
This will be a fast one.
Okay.
Yes. Thanks you
Thank
guys
you
so
so much,
much.
right?
Okay.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays, yeah.
Thank you.
All right, guys.
We can get you a pair, man.
Okay, approval of minutes.
We can get you a pair.
Any changes to minutes? Any comments?
Because she's so tall.
Mary,
Listen, when my daughter puts her heels on, she's over
Any
6
changes?
foot tall.
Minutes? Did you?
Oh. I didn't catch anything.
All right,
Are we
any changes to
approving the
minutes? They're approved?
Approved.
Approved? All right, okay, good. Status report from the Assistant Director of P&Z, Dave Keating.
Things are going to change.
Oh,
As you know, I will be retiring at the end of this month. I've been with the town since
Have they accepted it?
1983.
They accepted it?
They accepted the retirement?
Yes, they accepted it. They had no choice. So I've been here 38 years, 11 months. And I think I've attended roughly 350 to 360 ARB meetings in that time. And it's been sometimes frustrating as conversations have gone round and round and round, but always productive. And it's been very, very educational for me and very interesting. And it's been one of the things that I've done all 38 years, is attend ARB meetings.
There must have been all the chairmen that you dealt with. They're all so good.
So, somebody will be taking my place as a zoning enforcement officer. I don't know whether they will be attending the architectural review board meeting, or if it'll be Jeremy or somebody else from the office, but somebody will be. And Tamara Eberhardt, who's been the wonderful secretary who's been taking care of getting all the paperwork to you and so forth, is moving to a different office in the town hall. So Greer McCarthy will probably be taking the lead in getting you the application materials, and then there'll be somebody else taking Tamara's places. So things will change, but you will go on, and there'll be a January meeting, and hopefully it'll be in person as opposed to online, because I think these are much better
much more productive.
to be in person and get to see you all. But I won't be here in January for your...
Dave, who are we gonna ask our stupid questions to? Like, what are the regulations here and here?
Yeah, but then whoever it is here, they'll know the answer instead of, yeah.
I don't know, Dave, 38 years and 11 months, 350 plus meetings? I don't know if there's ever a way.
Been and visited all the buildings multiple
Yep,
times.
they've seen it all in person. I don't know, big shoes to fill.
Maybe we should all just retire with us. That'd make it easy.
Don't worry, it's coming for you.
So that's the status at this point.
Much longer.
Give me that pole sign back if you stay.
No holes!
Yeah, and it's really funny. Allison Hughes pulled it off without telling me because she and I started about the same time. Like, that wasn't fair.
Okay, well, let's adjourn and then let's chat and have some fun. Any other business?
No?
All right, I'm gonna close at 8:48 PM. You can take us offline.